Hello everyone, and welcome to another beer review. Now today we're on a keg today because, well, the reality is that some kegs came up that were cheap, and me being a Scotsman, I bought them. There's a shocker, eh? Oh, greedy push. Just making sure this is all working. Yes, so what happened was the Thornbridge Brewery, because I always kind of just do a wee kind of search. I've got a little algorithm that I've set up that if anything starts to go a certain percentage below its normal price, then it flags it up to me, and the algorithm says, "Oh, Thornbridge Brewery," and I'm thinking, I'll go in and have a look. So I went in, and yeah, there was 3 kegs on sale. The reason why they were on sale was because they have a limited use by date, basically, and it's only about something like 3 weeks. Well, I think it was originally a couple of weeks, but I contacted them over the phone, and they said, yeah, okay, right, ones that are a wee bit late on that, so they gave me the ones that are about 3.5 weeks before they run out, so that's not so bad. So what I did was I got I think it was a porter or a stout, one of the two, and I got a bitter, and I got a golden ale. So what we're doing today is Brother Rabbit, which is the golden ale, and it's normally roughly about £22 for the 5 litre keg, and I got it for 15. So I can't complain at that. Now it's still in the machine, that's why I haven't got it out and I'm showing you. I'll put a picture of the keg up there just to kind of show you, because it just saves me having to drag it out and unplug everything and get myself all covered in water and just get myself all wet and everything else. Just a bit of a palaver. So yes, it's 4%. It's a 5 litre keg. It was £15, not including delivery, but I bought them as a batch of 3, so I think it worked out roughly about a couple of quid for the delivery for each keg. It was roughly about a couple of quid. So yeah, not too bad, if they're actually quite nice. Now, of course, with Thornbridge, if you've been watching the first episode of the news, they've been chosen as the first collaboration for Budvar from the Czech Republic, the brewery there. So they're going to be making a Pilsner as a kind of a joint collaboration. So there must be something about the Thornbridge Brewery for Budvar to kind of maybe choose them. Well, I would hope that it's based on kind of brewing techniques and experience and everything else, and not maybe on price if it's a tender process or something like that. But this is what we've got. It's slightly cloudy, as you can see. It's, like I said, it's 4%. It's supposed to be slightly citrusy and light. It's a kind of a lighter kind of golden ale, with a little bit of kind of bitterness as well. So let's see what it smells of. For people on the podcast, because I keep forgetting about you, so I'm so sorry. It's kind of hazy colour, kind of light kind of straw colour. Not heavy haze, but a kind of light haze, just kind of like almost opaque, rather than basically being completely hazy and just kind of like, you know, kind of what we call bloody orange. From that point of view, well, yeah, let's see what it smells like. I'm getting a bit of citrus, a wee bit of kind of maybe hint of grapefruit, hint of lemon, getting a bit of grain. Not really getting any malt. Not really getting anything else. It's quite light on aromas, so it is. It's quite light. Let's see what it tastes like. Okay. Now I've done it through the beer monster again, the beer machine. Just because it's easier to kind of adjust it. But what I have done is, all I've done is I've added the gas to allow it to basically pour. I haven't added any additional carbonation to kind of until I've actually really tasted it. So it's actually quite light in carbonation. I would say it's more of a sparkle than really being carbonated. It's more like a almost like a cask in some ways, with the kind of level of carbonation, so it's quite light in carbonation, which in its own right, because of the type of beer it is, makes it a bit sessionable as well, because it's only about 4%, quite light in the old carbonation. The flavours that kind of, what would you call it, kind of slightly refreshing edge to them, you know, if it's based round about the lemon and things like that, which I'm getting little tones of lemon. That, yeah, would probably make it quite sessionable. But yeah, it's actually not too bad. I mean, it is quite light. I'll be totally honest, it's lacking a bit of body from that point of view. But that's the luck of the draw to a certain degree. I think there's a case as though they try to add a bit of body to it with the kind of slightly citrusy, lemony kind of bitterness to it. It might be a bit too much, might make it a bit too heavy from that point of view, less sessionable from that point of view. Whereas I think their idea is to make something that's a bit zesty, a bit kind of refreshing, a bit lighter in the body and a bit lighter in the carbonation, just make it a bit more kind of sessionable from that point of view. And yeah, it's quite nice. A bit of a strange, because it is supposed to be an ale and it has that kind of lightness of maybe more of a lager. So it's kind of, the body is very kind of more similar to a lager, but the flavour profiles and mouthfeel and everything else is very similar to an ale. So it's one of these ones that's, I suppose it's probably not sure what it's supposed to be, but yes, for an ale I would say it's a bit lighter in the body. I mean lighter in the body, I mean is it maybe it's ever so slightly watery in its kind of feel, but I wouldn't say it's watery in the flavours, because the flavours are actually quite prominent, you know, for the type of beer it is, but not overly prominent in that it's maybe become sickening or overpowering from that point of view. But yeah, it's actually not too bad. Let's break down the flavours. Start off with, you get very, very light malt, a little kind of hint of sweetness, and straight away you're getting a little bit of citrus in the front of the mouth. And initially you're getting a bit more kind of grapefruit, so you're actually getting a feel of more of a grapefruit and slightly pithiness at the start of the mouth. Moves on to the mid-tongue, and things kind of settle down a bit. You're still getting a little bit of kind of grapefruit pithiness, kind of bitterness. You've got the pale malts, a little bit of grain. You've got the underlying sweetness, but you're also getting a little bit of lemon tones coming through now, and it settles down. It's not quite as sharp in the mid-tongue as it was in the front of the mouth. So with that kind of bitterness, it's quite a sharp bitterness that you're getting in the front of the mouth. You're not getting so much of that in the mid-tongue. And then when it moves on to the aftertaste, the bitterness has kind of died down a bit from the kind of pithiness. It's not that sharp bitterness, but there's still a bit of bitterness there, but it's more of a kind of light lemon bitterness. And it's a lot lighter finish. There's a bit more in the front of the mouth, and a bit lighter at the back end in the aftertaste. Now, without the aftertaste is the pale malts do kind of dissipate quite quickly. There isn't so much grain in the aftertaste as well. It's kind of, as it started kind of transfer from the mid-tongue to the aftertaste, the grains are kind of gone. So you're just left with this light underlying sweetness and these nice little light kind of lemony tones. And it's actually quite nice, it's quite refreshing. It's, is it my cup of tea? I think it's the case as though normally I would probably want a bit more body for this amount of kind of citrus flavouring. Even though the citrus flavouring is a bit more lemony and a bit lighter from that point of view, but it's quite prominent from that point of view. And normally I would probably want something with a bit more body just to kind of carry that kind of citrus bitterness from the hops. Whereas this is a bit more watery, it's a bit kind of slightly lagerish from that point of view. So there's a kind of a drop down in the kind of body from that point of view. But I would rather have more of the kind of sharp bitterness at the front of the mouth than it lingering at the back, and then it just kind of becomes a bit more sickening. It's got quite a nice light finish, which is a bit refreshing. And there's a little bit of dryness there. There's a bit of a little lightness and dryness in the palate there, which is a bit nicer on the back of the mouth. So basically, as it moves into the mid-tongue, you are getting that little kind of bit of dryness there, which again is maybe not a normal thing you would get in a golden ale. Something you'd probably get more obviously in a lager, and especially more of a pilsner, especially a kind of German pilsner. But overall, it's actually quite nice and quite refreshing. Yeah, it's actually not too bad. Would I recommend it? Yeah, I would. I could probably say on a hot summer's day, or you come home from work, and I'll be totally honest, a bit of a crap day today actually with work. Just things aren't going to plan from that point of view, and certain parts you've been waiting for, they've come in and they've been absolutely useless, to be totally honest. So some of the parts that I was waiting for and got them today, they were both DOA, dead on arrival, so they're both absolutely bloody useless, which basically means that certain things that I wanted to kill off, I haven't or couldn't from that point of view. So it's a bit of a wasted day, and of course, unfortunately, it's a 2-hour drive to where these machines have problems, and I'll be totally honest, 4 hours wasted just for the driving point of view, never mind when you're on site trying to kind of resurrect parts to try and see if you can get them to work and everything else, and it's just not going there. And what didn't help was the oldest boy, he decided to bloody pull the bloody, well, he fucked the light switch, basically, the pull cord, and totally buggered that, and unbelievable, seriously. And he tells me this morning, I got up at 5:30 this morning, and I'm looking at thinking, well, the toilet door's shut and the light's on, so maybe he's in there. That's what I presumed. What I didn't realise was that the arsehole shut the bloody door and the lights had been on. Apparently did this sometime last night, and well, that was it. The light was stuck on, so he thought, oh fuck, I'll just shut the door. Basically fucked off to his bed. So at which point he's telling me this morning, which I think is a case of, oh, I pulled the light switch and it's not working now and the lights are stuck on. Oh, is it? And then he says, do you want me to order something? Order something? Well, yeah, because you ordered that from Amazon and we'll wait another fucking 24 hours with the lights stuck on. Oh, you fucking muppet. Seriously. Unbelievable. But anyway, so that was another thing I had to deal with when I came back, because I ordered them from basically one of the suppliers and that type of stuff, and picked it up on the way through. So it was a case of came home and I thought, right, I'm going to do a review at some point today, but I need to get that bloody thing sorted, so I might as well do it while I've got daylight. So get that fixed, get some num-nums, because we all like some num-nums, don't we? We like some num-nums. So I got some num-nums in me, which is food, if you don't understand what num-nums are. You know, get your dinner in you. And yeah, so I can think, right, I'll quickly do a review. And I'm actually quite enjoying this, just because it's a bit of it was quite warm today. It was 19 degrees down here in Devon, and I ended up in Wiltshire. So I did, but I was down in Devon, and it was a nice day, but it just wasn't a productive day, and it just felt that, you know, one of these things that you're just driving back, you're thinking, I've achieved absolutely fucking nothing. You know, it's that type of situation. And then, of course, you've got to come back and you've got to sort out that. Plus, whoever's actually fitted it, you know, the old one that was actually broken, you know, he'd actually mounted it with one fucking screw instead of 2 screws. And he used a gyprock screw as well. He's cheap arsehole, so of course, as I'm bloody screwing it, the bloody head comes off it, you know, unscrewing it. And oh, fuck, it snapped. And that's it coming out. You're thinking, fucker, seriously, you fucking cowboy. Anyway, so why am I telling you this? But anyway, if you're interested, way, you know what I mean? If you're not, then, well, you've probably buggered off long ago from that point of view. So yeah, I tried to find the bloody screws so I could basically put new screws in it after I basically put the new one on. But what I have done is I didn't buy one, I bought two. So if the ham-fisted fuck basically breaks this one, then he says, oh, I broke that. Oh, have you? Well, there's fucking another one for you. Go and fit it, and if you electrocute yourself, we'll all fucking laugh. Ha ha, arsehole. So, that's the type of person I am. I'm too nice. But yeah, after a bit of a shitty day, this is actually quite nice. And I would recommend it. It's something a bit different. It's something quite nice. And I think, yes, on a warm day, or you just come back and you're just kind of hot and sticky. And I mean that in a nice way. Really what? Because apparently Adrian, he says that if I say certain things, it sounds a bit kind of like I'm a bit deviant or a bit sexual. But I mean it in a nice way. When you come back and you're just kind of hot, sticky and uncomfortable. Then something like this, you just kind of, well, I'm not going to, I was going to say perky up, and that just makes it worse. Something that, you know, if it kind of revives you and refreshes you. Still down sounds fucking bad, doesn't it? But anyway, I'm meaning it in a genuine way, that if you just want, you know, just a wee pep up, just something just to kind of, when I was going to say wet your whistle, that just makes it worse. Anyway, let's get off this part. But at the end of the day, it's nice and refreshing. Now, what would I give this out of 10? Well, it's actually quite nice. It's just a nice little, that underlying sweetness is actually quite nice to it as well. It just goes nearly, you know, really well with the lemony kind of accents. It's really nice. I mean, as I'm drinking more of it, the mouth is becoming more acclimatised. I'm just getting, you know, some of the flavours are just starting to kind of blossom now, and they're just really actually quite nice. And yeah, it's quite a nicely brewed beer. And with the lack of body, it does actually go quite well, because it does make it slightly kind of lagery, slightly almost like a radler, but without the heavy sweetness. So it's like, imagine a radler for grown-ups without having all the sugary piss about it. But yeah, it's actually, yes, it is. It's almost like a radler for people that actually like beer. So yeah, fair play to Thornbridge from that point of view. Right, what would I give this out of 10? Because I've been waffling on like an absolute arsehole. I'm actually going to give this, I was going to say 6.5, and I think that's a wee bit unfair, because it actually is quite nice. In its own way, it actually is really refreshing. But it just has some nice little underlying sweetness. It's got some nice little lemon tones. The initial kind of pithy grapefruit sharpness at the front of the mouth is obviously died down now that the mouth is acclimatised, so it's not as sharp as it was. And overall, it's just become a bit more round, and just, yeah, it's kind of blossomed a bit now in the mouth, and it's just, you can have a right good session in this. And I mean, obviously, at 22 quid, 23 quid, well, it's a bit more expensive, but at 15 quid for 5 litres, I mean, that's not too bad. It's only, what, £3 a litre, and which works out, if you're looking at a 500ml bottle, it's only roughly about £1.50. I've got to admit, at that price, it's a good bargain. 22, 23 quid plus the delivery, well, that's a different story, but I'll be totally honest, I'm going to give this a 7. So it's going to be a 7 out of 10. I would recommend it, especially on a hot day, or if you just want something to kind of, I was going to say perk you up, Christ, to pep you up, to give you a wee kind of bit of refreshment on a bad day, or a day that's just, you're just uncomfortable, and you're just hot, and sweaty, uncomfortable, you just think, oh, I could do with a refreshing beer. This is actually a refreshing beer, and it's, unlike lager, it's got a bit of flavour to it. It's got a bit of, you know, substance to it from that point of view, so it's less boring and something a bit more interesting to drink. So yeah, 7 out of 10. It's 4%. It's a 5 litre keg. I think you can obviously get it in bottles and cans as well, so I would look out for that. And yeah, I would definitely say if you see it and it's affordable, go for it. So thanks for watching. Cheers, and bye for now.